I think my Tacoma is getting louder, but why? Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. You know, I think my Tacoma is getting louder. That was a little run, just turning a corner, going through the gears, a little more spiritedly, I must admit. But, and it's weird with the Tacoma. You know, once you run it up to, I don't know, 3,000 or so RPM, something like that, it kind of kicks into a different gear, if you will. Not really, because, I mean, I'm driving a manual. I'm controlling the gears. But it seems to have this extra oomph. You could hear, hopefully, right there when I went around that curve. But it seems to be getting louder anyway. So what do I have on the truck, first of all? It's not stock. So I'm not saying that the stock exhaust is going to get louder. No. What I have the TRD exhaust on the truck. It's just a single exhaust. It's not the dual, but it is the TRD exhaust. And I do have the pipe cut just right up maybe about 4 feet or so from where it would normally have been. I did that for clearance for the bigger tire that I have underneath. But also I have the S&B cold air intake. And I gotta say, when I first put everything on the truck, it was like, you know, I didn't really notice anything. But now, after having it on there for, man, almost a year probably, it's been, or at least several months, I do notice a deeper sound to the exhaust or the note on the Tacoma. I'm going to downshift. We'll go down to third gear here. And I'm just going to run it a little bit. Kind of give you a little idea. I hope it comes through well in the camera. I am going to do a little bit of a speed run here in just a second. As soon as we make this turn, I'm going to run it through the gears pretty quickly, up to about 55, 60, something like that. And we'll see if you notice anything from right here. I mean, it gets quite loud right there. Now, granted, I ran it out a bit there. That was in, I think that was in third gear. Yeah, it was in third gear going to fourth. But you could hear it pick up. You could hear the sound of the exhaust kick up a little bit as I ran it to the top of the gear, right? Just kind of weird. Two things. One, just the normal, what seems to be louder exhaust. And then two, that extra oomph that the Tacoma gets once you run it up around, I don't know, it's like 3,000, 3,500, something like that RPMs. It's very strange, you know, it's almost like an extra kick. You know, is it the Sprint booster? No, it's not the Sprint booster. That will deliver me acceleration quicker, but that's not going to give me any extra oomph, because I had noticed that in the truck before. I'm kidding. It's not the Sprint booster, not as far as the extra oomph goes. But it's very strange in the Tacoma. Like I say, I had noticed it before. I don't recall if I ever noticed that in the the automatic, the 2018 that I had. And of course, it's the same engine, different transmission, obviously, but the same engine, so I would expect it to perform pretty much the same. So now we're just cruising. I'm gonna be quiet for a second. You can hear the truck at just a cruise. I am in third gear. And that's giving it gas a little bit. And you can hear it kick up. You can hear the volume kick up, if you will. I didn't get that jump, but I'm cruising right now at about 3,000 RPMs in third gear. But it wasn't that extra kick that I was talking about. It was just me pushing on the accelerator. I said kiddingly that it's not the sprint booster, and it's not. But I gotta say that instant acceleration when I push on the pedal does give you a little bit of kickback. As I'm just cruising, I'm still in third gear. I should shift. I'm at 3,000 RPMs at, I don't know, 48 miles an hour. Actually, more like about 51 because of the bigger tires. It's just kind of cool. I'm digging it. I like the sound. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not, and I don't know how it's coming through on the video, I'll know when I play it back. It's not like it's some deep V8 throaty exhaust or anything, don't get me wrong, it's not like that. But still, it is an enjoyable sound, I guess, while I'm driving the Tacoma. Now, if I go ahead and shift to fourth, this is what it sounds like just cruising in fourth at 51 miles an hour. Give it a little gas. You see, you really didn't notice anything there as far as sound goes because I'm not at the top of the gear or the end of the gear, however you want to say it. You get that when you're at the end of the gear, at least in the manual transmission. And I got to assume that when you're in the automatic and you floor it, it's probably more like overdrive, Used to be, and I don't know if they're like that anymore, or maybe some people used to call it passing gear. But when you would stomp on the accelerator in the older cars, it would kind of go into something that we used to refer to as overdrive or a passing gear. In other words, it would kick down and give you more power when you stomped on it, primarily so that I think if you were trying to get around somebody like on a freeway or whatever, you'd have that extra oomph, and that's why they referred to it as a passing gear. Obviously, I don't have that in the automatic, or the manual rather, but I would be curious to know if anyone has experienced that in the automatic. In other words, when you get on it and you're running, and I know when you stomp on it, it's going to drop a gear. Well, it should, to give you more oomph, depending on how fast you're going. But still, I wonder if at some point as it's running through the power band, if you feel like it's kind of taken even an extra step beyond that. Like if there's something extra out there at the higher RPM level that you feel in the automatic, like I'm experiencing in the manual. It's just pretty cool. But back to the sound, I definitely have more sound in it now than I did before. I don't know if it's because everything is now breaking in. They always say that as you have an exhaust longer, the baffles in there will, I don't know if they loosen up. I don't think they really loosen up, but it'll get a little bit louder. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I'm digging it. I like it. So anyway, I just wanted to get on, kind of show you guys, let you hear what I'm experiencing, and ask you, do you notice? Hopefully the video gives a realistic sound or a realistic impression of what I'm hearing, but I'd be curious to know, did you hear any difference? What do you think? Leave a comment. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels, RobMotive FST, all about my new Toyota Tundra and my quest for the redesigned Toyota Tundra, and RobMotive JT about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you like them, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.